I just finished watching Star Wars Rebels Season 2 for the first time, and I've really debated if I even wanted to talk about it because I have a very love-hate relationship with it. Now, I'm currently on a Star Wars deep dive, okay? I'm reading all the books, I'm rewatching all the movies, and I'm watching a lot of the TV shows for the very first time. So let's start with the bad, and then we'll work our way towards the good in hopes of ending this video on a high note. I think this show suffers from a severe lack of stakes. The Empire in this show is so wildly incompetent that as time went on, I just could not fathom a situation where they would even catch the rebels, where they would even actually be a problem for the rebels. We see them shooting at the rebels and missing at point-blank range constantly. We see the rebels getting away easily all the time. And in a show about rebellion specifically, the danger of the Empire is a really vital part of that story. So to make the Empire this ineffective, this dumb, ends up devaluing every other aspect of the story. Worse than that, it ends up making a lot of the stories this show is trying to tell kind of boring. While I was watching the show, I mentioned this on Threads and someone responded, well, it's just a kid's show, you know, don't take it that seriously. But there are plenty of kids shows where the stakes are high and the villains are competent enough to feel dangerous. And this comment really riled me because being a story for children doesn't mean that it can't also be excellent. However, while I do have a lot of criticisms of season 2 of Rebels, I do think there are some moments of greatness and even a moment of excellence. The return of Captain Rex and other clones in the Lost Commanders episode was a highlight for me as someone who's a big fan of Clone Wars. Legacy of the Lasan was another excellent episode. I love how it explored Zeb and his people, and it also had some just beautiful imagery. The Call ended up being one of my favorite episodes of the season. I love that these space whales sort of represent that there are still so many mysteries for us to discover in this galaxy. The Forgotten Droid was a great highlight to Chopper's character. I understand why people love him so much. He's an excellent character. And of course, I loved how that smaller storyline ended up tying into the larger Star Wars mythos. But the highlight of this season, of the entire show so far, really, was the season finale. It is my belief that Rebels Season 2 is a 5 out of 10 season of television with an 11 out of 10 finale. Twilight of the Apprentice is so good, it feels like a different show. The pacing and writing of this episode are excellent, and we finally get that sense of danger that I wanted so badly for the rest of the season. In fact, this might have been the first time in the entire show where I was genuinely concerned for our character's safety. And once you know it, that made it a really good episode, because stakes in storytelling are important. Seeing the return of Darth Maul intersecting with Ahsoka going up against Vader, this episode shows that you can use nostalgia and fan service to tell a really effective story. Because this episode isn't just about cameos, it's about emotional moments between these characters who have a lot of history and haven't seen each other for a long time. It is a truly brilliant episode to cap off a very middling season. And my hope, my need, is that we get more things like this in season 3. But like throughout the whole season, not just at the end. I would also take some more Darth Maul. He's an excellent character and he actually provides a threat, which this show desperately needs. And I would take less Inquisitors flying around on spinning lightsabers. I don't know what it is about this exactly, but I hate it. So those are my thoughts on Rebels Season 2. What are your thoughts on Star Wars Rebels Season 2? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle? Let me know.